So, generally speaking, I've been taking a break from Destiny, but with the new patch out 9.1.1.5 or whatever it's called, there were a lot of changes to the portal, and most of them good. The frequency of loot has been upped, the power gains that you get has been upped, unstable cores are going away, so they just handed everyone a blank check of 777,777 unstable cores, so you can infuse whatever you like up to max level, pretty much whenever you want. And they also gave you a Into the Light-esque chest, but instead of just being a bunch of gear that maybe you didn't have, it was actually just a way to catch up if you were below 300. And I think it does scale to your level, so if you're even higher than 300, it will still help you get some gains. And yeah, generally speaking, the game feels much better to play. That being said, Bungie is now spending time rolling back every bad decision from Edge of Fate and taking the time to do so, which could be invested in pumping out new content, fixing bugs that still exist. I don't know how many times in my last play session that I got the launch bug to proc. It's insane, and that is just one of the many things that can deflate a play session. Not to mention something that's somewhat annoying in general and makes you appreciate Dim even more is the Vault in-game is not working at all for some people. Now you might be thinking I'm referencing the in-menu Vault that you can access if you press a certain button, but no, I legit actually cannot access my vault even in the tower. I assume it's probably the same for the helm. I just can't put anything in my vault, and with all the new stuff that came out recently, all the tier 5s that I've been farming throughout the last few months, my vault is stuffed, right? I want to clean it, and I also want to be able to put more stuff in there when I clean it, and so you have to use Dim. Just another great reason to support what the people at Dim do every single day and maintaining that website, because it is a godsend to have those third-party tools and extensions. I don't know where Destiny would be without them, but it sucks to have something positive to say about the grind, but you're still met with all of these QA and QC issues that make the game feel still horrible. And I think by the time Renegades comes out, we're essentially going to be at a point where it's pre-Edge of Fate, or it's at least they've fixed everything that was bad about Edge of Fate, the way the grind is and was, and how bad the portal is, and all of that stuff is going to be gone. And I'll be very interested to see how they're going to handle tier 5s now. Are they just going to let you get tier 5s right away in Renegades, because they are not resetting the power anymore in Renegades? So whatever you're at right now, you will be in Renegades. If you can get to 550 before then, you'll be at the max power for that entire DLC. There's no planned power increase at this point, and I think most of the community is okay with that. I know some people might want a small increase still, which is something they could do, but honestly, I think with the amount of grinding we've all been doing, or lack thereof, because of how bad it is, I'm okay with that. Something that I'm gonna echo from Dado's video, where he basically just announces his sabbatical, why he's taking it. He talks briefly about how most of the game feels broken, and not just from a sense of bugs and other issues like that, but from a build perspective, or from just a matter of how easy things can be when certain exotics are performing way better than they should be, or they're glitched, or maybe damage numbers aren't scaling correctly, or whatever the case may be. Take Axion Bolts, for example. They're doing crazy things on Warlock right now, and running that build makes everything easy. You have access to Devour, You basically have Axion Bolts up all the time, and I mean, really the only threat with that build is me blowing myself up with the Axion Bolts. But, you know, there are plenty of other builds that follow suit with that. You have Peacekeepers with Titan. Of course, before that, Wishful Ignorance was really good. Getaway Artist on Warlock. All the buddy builds, honestly, are fantastic right now with the grenade changes. There are a few Hunter builds out there. I still love using Gifted Conviction. That's just my favorite Hunter exotic in general to use. But generally speaking, there are so many good builds in the game. The only way you can play hard mode is if you make challenges for yourself. You're playing on the hardest difficulty, which isn't worth it most of the time. Or you just play on extremely outdated builds or subclasses, and that's essentially hard mode, right? Stuff that's been power crept, like Stasis and Strand. And even though there are some good builds out there, like Threadlings got buffed, they're not horrible, but they're definitely not as good as Prismatic Warlock or, you know, Axion Bolts are, right? There are just some things that you're never going to be able to outpace, and that's always been the case with Destiny. I didn't mean to rhyme with that there. Rap album coming out soon, but for sure, yeah, it feels more drastic than it's ever been. And I do feel like part of it is there are so many moving parts with this game right now, that you're fixing bugs or rolling back the Edge of Fate changes, and balancing has maybe taken a bit of a backseat at this point. They're kind of just breaking things and buffing things to get people on the game to test them out. And that's just a theory, it's speculation, and it might not be true, but I think you could buff everything in the game, which wouldn't be a horrible idea, I don't think. But again, there's going to be an extreme lack of boredom for some players, because when stuff is so strong, it just gets boring very quickly. And that brings me to the last bit, which I also agree with Dado, because I've been playing the game for the majority of the past 10-11 years. It's tiring, and you go over to Borderlands or Warframe or whatever looter shooter, and that's why I've been playing RPGs. I have a little bit of Marvel Rivals here and there just to scratch that competitive PvP itch. But I mean, when the game's in such a bad state like this, it's a great time to take a break, and I'm always such a loud advocate for that, because as some people do become very red-eyed towards Destiny and just tunnel vision in on the hate. I don't know how that's healthy for anybody, and you know, walking that fine line of hate and criticism is difficult sometimes, and it's easy to slip into the hate side. But that's why it's good to step away from the community, from the game, and from Bungie as a company, because they're really just not the same right now for many reasons. But you know, I'm always going to come back to this game, give it a fair shake, and come back here and give you my thoughts on it. And right now, I mean, it's better, but I mean, I'm not going to say W Bungie like I'm on Twitter after they fixed a problem that they created in the first place. Right, they could be doing so many different things right now, but instead the focus is fixing the portal, when it could have been released in a better state if they had recognized that it wasn't good in the first place and either delayed it or something. Anything would have been better than the state it released in. And you know, hindsight is 2020. Sometimes you have to trip and fall before you realize you fucked up, right? And Bungie definitely fell flat on their face with Edge of Fate, but you still fall on your face. Like, I'm happy that you realized that maybe you should tie your shoes before you go jogging so you don't fall on your face. But maybe you should have tied your shoes in the first place, my guy. Like, it takes like 2 seconds. Anyway, that's the best analogy I could come up with. My brain is not really functioning that much at 4 a.m. But yeah, I've been trying to come up with some video to make, but just as I have not had the inclination to play Destiny that much, I've not really had the desire to make a video on Destiny right now. It just seemed like a good time to talk about stuff with the changes. Again, I'll probably just be streaming. I'll be streaming honestly a lot more. More stuff like Deltarune, Metaphor Fantasio, and RPGs like that. Up until November, late November probably, and then Destiny will come back into swing, and there will be videos obviously about stuff coming in Renegades once we get more info, as that begins to trickle out, I would assume, towards early November-ish. But that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys are playing right now yourselves. If you're still playing Destiny, what are you doing in the game currently? And yeah, subscribe if you're new and you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see ya.